For the last several months, Tracy and I have been talking with a lot of our account managers and people within our company who have been talking with dentists and team members across the nation. And when they go out and, anytime we get a lead for people who want training or want more information, or we have somebody come to one of our introductory courses, we will engage in conversation with them. And oftentimes they're like blown away. They're like, I can't believe you can battle insurance companies like that, or you can take that to the next level and actually get paid for something. And my goodness gracious, upgrading, really? We can put in better crowns. We don't have to buy the cheaper crowns. We can charge the patients an additional fee for that. And over the last couple of months, a couple of my, couple of our accounts managers are like, oh, Dr. Rob, it just frustrates me. Some of the offices we go to where the doc or the office manager will just look right at us in the face and say, you can't do that with insurance companies. You can't do that with insured patients. And their comments are, why can't they believe? Why can't they read a contract? Why can't they study? Why can't they come to one of the MPMB courses and be trained on this stuff? Haven't you been lied to long enough, people? We begin our podcast right there.
Computers are live, mixer is up, levels are good, equalizer is good, ready channels 1 and 2. Mic is live in 3, 2, 1, roll it. Welcome, listeners, to the My Practice, My Business podcast, where we teach dentists and their teams how to reclaim forgotten profitability in dentistry with our clinical business of dentistry training. And now, the host of our show, the clinical director at My Practice, My Business, Dr. Rob Thorup.
Lucky for all of you, I'm joined today by my sweetheart, the general manager at My Practice, My Business, my business partner, the lady that keeps me in line as much as she can. I'm here with my sweet wife, Tracy. Say hi.
Hello, and for the record, I can hardly keep him contained.
This is going to be a fun one. I wanted to bring Tracy in on this because she's the one that hears from so many of you out there, and the excitement that she sees with all of you when you're engaged in the training that we give you, or you hear something about us, come to an intro course, and don't hesitate to call. That's what we're here for, and we'll give you a few little tips. We obviously won't give you all of our secret sauce and what we do because that's how we make an income, but we love sharing knowledge with all of you out there. And I want to talk about this whole topic. You've been lied to long enough. All of you who take dental plans or complain about, the dental plan's not paying enough, or even your fee-for-service fees not being high enough, which so many of you are in that boat, you don't have room to complain. If you've come to our training, an introductory course, the full-on training, obviously all of our clients know that they don't have room to complain because they don't complain, people, because they are making profitability in their practices again, and it's fantastic. But I want to talk about several of the entities with Tracy that we see out there that continue to perpetuate lies. The first entity of lies that we're going to discuss is the all-powerful dental insurance companies. Those wonderful contracts you sign, accepting ridiculously low reimbursement rates with the promise from them that they will fill your practice with tons of new patients, and this way you can work 4 times harder for a sliver of a profit. Yeah, that's not good for any of us. The thing that we are lied about is simple truth that you can charge additional fees for more expensive products and services. That's the little thing we're lied to about. But wait just a minute. Are you saying, Dr. Rob, that dental insurance contracts literally state that we can charge additional fees? That's ridiculous. Everyone knows you can't do that. And that's what propagated this podcast for today. Then I asked them if they have actually read their PPO dental contracts, let alone the dental insurance company's rules and regulations. And of course, they haven't read any of them. You know who I'm talking about, most all of you, okay? Actually, Trace, have we ever come across anybody that's read a contract, really?
Well, I've had a couple that have said that they had, but I don't know if I believe them, to be honest with you.
That's kind of funny. Then there is the lovely paper that comes back telling you to write off even more than you already do with your contracted fee schedules. It's called the Estimation of Benefits form, also called the patient's EOB for short. Yes, indeed, that little paper lies to you all the time. So let's follow up with the Tier 1 rep with whom you converse with, that all-knowing person on the other end of the phone who is so good at saying, "I'm sorry, but that is not a covered benefit." Or even better, the phrase that they love to use, "That procedure's not allowed." And you have to write it off. That's what they tell you. You have to write it off. What they are really saying is you have to do free dentistry. But wait, do you really need to do free dentistry? What would you do if you were at any other business and they told you no? Wouldn't you ask to speak with the manager? Or are you afraid of asking for the fear you might be told no again? When they lie to you, ask the manager. That's the simple answer, the quick fix. The secret is the Tier 1 reps have never read the contract either. They are just regurgitating what they've been told to say with the same questions they always get. They have to do everything that they can do to increase shareholders' value too. Right, Trace?
Absolutely. And something happened to me last week that I thought was pretty interesting. It was in regards to one of our patients. There was an arbitrary policy change, and we do train on how to handle those situations. But bottom line, when I addressed that with the Tier 1 rep, their first response was, "Do you want me to get a supervisor?" So it made me think, how many times during these little changes do we ask for a supervisor, but yet, why are we not asking for supervisors when it comes to upgrading?
Well, why aren't we? Why doesn't everybody?
Because they're afraid. That's the bottom line. They're afraid. It's fear.
It's fear. It's also a fear of they don't know what they don't know.
Yes.
Because if you came through our training, you'd know what to do.
Oh, absolutely. And all of our clients know what to do. And especially with those arbitrary agreements or the policy changes, in addition to offering choice to patients, it's pretty amazing watching them become empowered to be able to push back gently but firmly.
Wow. Well, the second entity of lies, this seems to be brought to you courtesy of the infamous dental consultant extraordinaire. Instead of admitting that they don't know what they don't know, many of them choose to speak with that authoritative voice as if God himself were speaking. Instead of admitting what they don't know, they simply agree and endorse that same no narrative. This is what I've seen, hon, that we hear from dental insurance companies. So it's almost as if that they've made contact with the insurance company and they have believed that Tier 1 rep, like, hands off. You can't do that. Okay, so I'll go back to my office that I consult with and say, you can't do that.
Yes. And that brings up the situation that happened with a good well-known dentist in the area and her office manager. She had gone through training with us at a previous practice and suddenly found herself in a new practice, and it worked out really well for her. Everybody was happy about this. But unfortunately, this doctor was fighting a lot of AR. And so instead of depending on her, he decided to pay who knows how much money for this consultant to come in and help get everything under control. But the interesting thing was when she came over to see me and said, "Tracy, are you supposed to be writing this stuff off?" And I said, "Absolutely not." And she said, "Well, this consultant's telling me that without a doubt, I need to be writing off all of these charges." And she said it with such
authority.
Oh, absolutely. That even this well-trained office manager started questioning herself. And that's where I get frustrated, because when you are given information without researching the facts and investigating the truth, you have no right to be spreading this information, or in this case, misinformation.
Honey, that's what concerns me the most, is to see the dentists and their teams blindly convinced by those consultants that and the insurance companies, that the false narrative is the only correct and true opinion. It's like this, the blind leading the blind with false narratives. Why? Aren't office managers, we want them to do their jobs. Most of the time, the dentists hold them back, but oftentimes it's the dentist and office manager combined, or the office manager becomes the authority in the office, and the dentist shrugs and says, "I'll do whatever the office manager tells me to do." Why don't they all want increases in paychecks and bonuses?
They all do. But I think it falls back onto the weight that lies on the office manager's shoulders. You get somebody who's not trained in business, is not able to really look at these rules and regulations and contracts the way that we teach them. And there's a lot of pressure put on this office manager, because one wrong move, there's a potential that your doctor could be kicked out of network, and that fear that you could ruin things for your doctor, I think causes a lot of doctors office managers to step back and say, you know what, the consultant knows more than me, we'll just listen to them. And that way, if something's wrong, the blame will not fall on me.
Another thing that I'm seeing is when that happens, it's almost like, I think that the insurance companies, this gets me all choked up. The insurance companies are scared also of having a discriminatory lawsuit against them, because they have to prove why they kicked you off the plan. They can't just kick you off the plan. And then everybody's like, well, I can't go up against the big bad insurance company. Well, actually you can. I think companies like Delta Dental, seeing that the ADA is suing them now, and state of Washington's going after them, and other states are joining because of the practices that they've been doing coming between the doctor-patient relationship. I think that as time goes on, it only takes a handful of us to file lawsuits against insurance companies if they choose to do things that are discriminatory or illegal in any other corporation. It won't take long. They don't want to go down that road. I don't believe. And with as many people jumping on the bandwagon, it only takes a half a dozen docs to file a suit, and that gets such public attention across the nation that looks bad for them, and corporations don't want to be insured by companies that are facing those types of lawsuits.
Agreed. And I don't think people realize that we do have a lot of people to support us, mainly the insurance commissioner. There are a lot of things that we're watching right now going down the pipeline as far as legal issues, and everybody's watching. I think there's some good things are going to happen in the future.
Well, it's going back to, this is one of our hot topic points of the podcast today. It's amazing to me to see how many dental consultants can cause even the best office managers, like the one I know who it was that talked to you, who have been through our training, to question truths that they've both seen and heard in our training. It's like these consultants, wear this aura about them, and that's what they feel like they have to do instead of actually being a team player. Office managers do not allow the consultants to push you around. And if you have any questions, even if you're not one of our clients, that a consultant says to you, you want to make a phone call to us, please feel free to do so. We're here to help you, and we don't want to see consultants do that to anybody's practice. That's why when you call us, and all of our clients will tell you, when you call us, if we don't have an answer, we're not going to pretend to have one and speak like this. We're going to just our clients will tell you, we don't have the answer, but we're going to find it. We'll find that answer. We'll make it happen. And then there's been a few times where we've come back and said, we don't have an answer for that. So you're pioneering that particular question. Go for it and let us know what you find out, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's only happened a couple of times, but when it happens, it's kind of shocking for us.
Yeah, I know, because we've usually seen so much in this industry. We usually have the answer. We've just been at it a long time, and fortunate to have Tracy, who's been an office manager and also has a lot of business training through schooling and School of Hard Knocks. The third entity of lies come from dental reps from supply companies. And so my rep listens to the podcast. So before you start freaking out there, Stu man, don't worry. you're not one of these that fall into this category. But many times you've heard me say to stop beating up your supply reps for better pricing on high quality products and supplies. And we beat them up. We beat them up because that's what we're told by consultants and other entities to do. But wait, how many times do you see supply reps sacrificing quality for quantity? They oftentimes will sell you whatever the flavor of the day is, not bringing you the best they have to offer because they're thinking that if they don't come in with a competitive price, you're going to go elsewhere. And so they try to find the best product they can at the cheapest price, or maybe they don't even have the best to offer because their company pissed off the top manufacturer and they're not allowed to carry that company's products anymore. So they lie by telling you how the lesser product is better than the discovery of the internet. For example, when I first started practicing, I used ADEC equipment. I actually bought ADEC equipment from an awesome endodontist who was selling his stuff and moving to a new office. And the ADEC equipment was fantastic. Well, it came time to replace the ADEC equipment that he'd had for years and years. And what was I sold? Pelton Crane, because ADEC wasn't part of their line. Now, Pelton Crane's been they're a good product, don't get me wrong. But those of us that have been in the industry for a long time know that ADEC just, for whatever reason, patients like sitting in ADEC chairs. And if you ask a patient to go try out chairs at a dental show, they'll flat out tell you that the ADECs are comfortable. But the other thing with ADEC is they just last a long time. So do the patient units, and they just don't break down. They're built like tanks. And I was sold Pelton Crane, and of course I was sold the first massage chairs Pelton Crane came out with. Now I have to say my patients love those, and the problem is when they go bad, they only want $1 bazillion to fix them. So another thing and that's just one of many aspects, and I know that all of you know what I'm talking about.
And that leads to my second concept with reps and dentistry. My goal as an office manager is to look at the overall health of the practice. And that means the sanity of the doctor, the dental assistants, and the hygienist. And so when the rep comes in and tells me that they have a better quality technology, but their arguing point is not based on ROI or the best, in the doctor's best interest, it's focused on quantity. You can squeeze these patients into your schedule. You can add more patients. You can see more people. Well, that stresses me out. I don't know about you, but I already am happy with our schedule. And the concept of thinking of our clients before they train with us and how they're already squeezing patients in the schedule and stressed out. Why would you do that?
Exactly. And these reps, that we see them falling victim to the exact thing that they get mad at dental consultants doing, and that's pushing the lower priced product to us instead of the better, more expensive product. And what they are trying to do is bring us the best value, again, at the lowest possible price. Appreciate that. But if I'm already using a product that I love and endear and it costs more, I want to keep that. We all know that composite bonding agents are not created equal. Over the years, I've fallen prey to trying out supposedly highly rated bonding agents that are lower in cost, and only to hear my patients complain of tooth sensitivity after I've used them. The composite bonding agent that I currently use has a cost of goods of roughly $10 per dispenser. And the other brands that I've attempted to use are around $4 plus or minus $1 per dispenser. I don't want the lower price bonding agent. We actually teach offices how to use the better product and charge for it. And some of you guys are out there going, Rob, you can't do that either. Oh, don't tell me what I can or can't do until you've read the contract and read the rules and regulations of your insurance company and come and listen to all of our recorded conversations with them. Then we'll have a conversation about that. Anyway, but my patients are much happier with a few dollars more for their non-sensitive post-operative procedures. They're happy to pay for that. So dental reps, don't tell me stories. Do your homework. Give me truthful options, and I'll make the best choice for my patient's care. I appreciate you trying to save me $1, but I'm not the type of doc who trips over those dollars to save a few pennies, like is taught by many dental consultants. For example, look at the cone beam we just bought, the Plan Mecca Vizzo. Unbelievable what its capabilities are. And it wasn't like giving me cartoon pictures like all the other CBCT scanners do, and I was like getting ticked. That half the rep, Steve, I got mad at him. Steve, my unit's not giving me clean pictures like everybody else's is, and it doesn't give me cartoony looks. And he goes, Rob, you've stepped up to the real world of CBCT. He comes in and he shows me all the cool things that CBCT does. Unbelievable. And I was looking for cartoons, and I bought the more expensive unit. Will I ever use all of it? Probably not. But what its capabilities are honestly right now out there second to none. So I don't want to be sold cheap stuff. I want to be sold things that work and give me the best value for that product that I get. Anything you want to add to that?
I think you said it all.
The fourth entity where lies can come from are dental lab techs. They tend to push the agenda of zirconia on every tooth that needs a crown. The reason? Because they don't break. And who cares what they do to opposing natural dentition, right? Don't get me wrong. Most lab techs are a great resource when it comes to dental prosthetic differentials, but all too often, they only push what they know. So it's like if you're withholding truth because you don't know any better, is that being completely honest? So I want them to push themselves, and I want them to know what's out there and why it's out there, because they are one of our best resources when it comes to materials and what their labs are capable of producing. And stop licking your brush when you paint on porcelain. You're contaminating the restoration. That causes failure, or should I say fracturing of the porcelain. I know, I've seen it. If my prep is reduced enough with rounded edges, fractures are usually the cause of the material. But having said that, docs, when a crown fractures, be honest with yourself. Look and see if you've got enough reduction. Look and see if you've rounded the corners, because that's how lithium disilicate works the best, and zirconia too. The fifth entity where lies come from are dental team members. So often I see dental team members who come from other offices bringing their baggage with them. And they have the status quo itis syndrome, or the give it away itis syndrome, or the dreaded Yanindi syndrome, which stands for, yeah, no, I'm not doing it. They come with the same crappy training we talked about earlier that was taught them from the self-appointed experts in the dental consulting field that came to that office they came from. And when companies like ours teach them wonderful new business concepts, they hold their facade-covering avarice ground of false narratives that actually damage the practice's ability to make more profitability. Drives me insane.
Ooh, you just struck a nerve with that one.
I know, because you're an office manager. Did I tick you off, or did I?
Getting myself ready for this big spiel here. You know what? That's happened to two of our clients where they have trained with us and they've been so successful. But these are offices. These ones specifically were offices that relied heavily on the office manager at the time to do a lot of the heavy lifting instead of making it a team effort, which was fine. You know, that's what worked for them. But in those cases specifically, they hired a brand new office manager to replace the former one. That person who's never been through the training, who doesn't understand the concepts. And what happens to the practice? They start to go downhill, and then we get a phone call again asking for us to retrain them again. So that's where I get very frustrated is these practices are doing so well, and then that one person comes in with that narrative and just ruins the whole thing, and then you start fresh.
And they look at all the other team members going, what do you think you're doing? Mm-hmm. That's not how it's done. And that's a phrase. Oh my gosh, that's not how it's done. I forgot about that one.
You got to remember that one.
I know. And we've all heard that age-old saying, tell a lie long enough and people will believe it. Well, my question is this. Why do they not question such statements from others? Everything we teach at MPMB is backed up with recordings, contractual verbiage, or written state laws. That's our power play, and we love teaching dentists and their teams those simple truths. Anything, it's, and then they come in to the other office from another office. They come into a current office, and it's like, I don't know. I wonder, they just probably feel bad, or they feel intimidated. But
in contrast, though, I mean, we have some team members that we know of that go to other offices and work at other offices, and they end up coming to us afterwards saying, I just feel bad because they don't get it.
Because they try to help them implement the things that they've been trained on. I mean, our stuff is proprietary, and they're not supposed to give away the kitchen sink to everybody that they go. Like if if we train an office and one of those team members goes to another office, we help them try to implement a couple of things so that they can see how it's done, but they get shut down.
Oh, in a heartbeat.
Yeah, like crazy. Oh my gosh. The sixth entity where lies are pushed from are our beloved patients. The ones who lie to get their way or to get out of full payment, or they pit dental team members against each other by saying, so-and-so told me my treatment was free today. Or in fact, they told me you were going to pay for it, right? You're going to cover this for free. Then there's the patient who calls the dental insurance company and return to you with lies upon lies that the insurance company has propagated at them. Nothing that a three-way call between you, the patient, and the insurance company can't clear up in a hurry. So stand your ground with them and take the time to let truth come out. Don't let them get away with that crap. The truth will come out if you make it happen. Don't let them push you around.
My favorite is when a patient will come in and they have their Gucci bag and their designer jeans and their beautiful nails and their hair is all done. And they look at the treatment plan and they say, can I speak to the doctor? It's personal. And then they proceed to go into the doctor's office because we're trying to be nice. And they say something like, my dog died, my car broke down, I'm having family problems, I'm having job problems, I can't afford this, can you give me a deal, please? And we know dang well that that's not the truth.
That's really frustrating. And and here's the thing is one of the things we teach, so those of you who haven't been through our training, write this down. We treat every patient as if they want their dental care and they're willing to pay for it. It's that simple. They want it and they're willing to pay for it. And if you treat them, how many times do we see practices, a patient will come up and they're already on a PPO plan, and then they think that they have to say to the patient, and the doctors told me to give you a 10% discount on all this work.
Oh, I'm going to start grinding my teeth at night thinking about this. Guys, you can't do that. You are not allowed to do that. We talk about this.
Well, they're already taking a 30-40% hit, and they don't know what their DOC is per hour. They're already either in the red or barely breaking even.
Well, and in the contract, it states that you're supposed to be taking any reasonable steps to collect 100% of the patient portion. You're kind of breaching your contract when you take additional off, just letting you know.
And in your contracts, folks, you're also supposed to collect the copay at the time of service and any other fees associated with that service that are non-covered services. You're supposed to collect that. A lot of offices are savvy, we see, and they collect it up front, the full amount, or 50%. Mm-hmm. They'll collect up front, for the procedure, just to hold that spot for them. And the final fairy tale of lies that we've been told too long enough comes from, you ready, docs? Come from us. They come from you, our colleagues. We see this all the time at My Practice, My Business. Our sales reps are in offices each week attempting to spread the good word of reclaiming forgotten profitability in dentistry again so that you guys can be paid fairly for what you do, only to be met with resistance by those who think they know everything. I've seen this from our state dental officers all the way up to the American Dental Association officers. They just don't know what they don't know. But why can't they search out the truth before they start talking? Why is truth so hard to accept? Colleagues will tell you that you can't upgrade and charge for it. I hear it all the time from you guys. They tell you it's illegal, unethical, and you're going to hell if you do it. These same colleagues are constantly complaining about dental insurance reimbursement rates, let alone the lack of coverage on many procedures. You making more money than them goes against the age-old model of one-upmanship. And that's why they tend to stamp down any time that I go to teach them. We just had one a couple weeks ago. The doc looked at us like, yeah, no, I'm not doing it. That's wrong. It's illegal. You can't do that. And even after we let him hear a couple of recorded conversations, he still couldn't accept the truth. It's right in front of him. Drives me insane. You got anything you want to add to that? Because we're here to help, guys. We're here to help all you docs out there and to make profitable income. And
yeah, and this is a win-win for everybody. Obviously, the insurance company is going to win regardless, so that's a given. But now you're putting that choice in the patient's hands, and the patient's happy because they finally get a choice with a dentist, and you can be profitable. I mean, I don't see where there's an issue.
I love the patient's perspective on choice. They love choice. They love to know that there are better products out there that the doc can put in the patient's mouths.
Well, when we have new patients that come in the door and we offer them choice, it's amazing how many have those eyes that just bulge out of their heads. And the first thing they tell me is, why didn't my last doctor, give me choice? What's in my mouth now? Do I need to replace things? Maybe that makes sense why my tooth never really worked the way I thought it would work. Maybe that's why it doesn't look the way I thought it would look. You know, all these sudden truths appear to the patient, and we love the fact that we can give them that choice, and that trust there is immediately opened up between the two of us.
Which is taught in every MBA program out there. Choice promotes trust. Unbelievable. Well, my friends, I love the type A dominant docs who want everyone to succeed, and not the type A dominant docs who speak with non-backed up authority that they think they have and they don't. I love the docs who will spread truths instead of false narratives that only damage our dental practices when they do that. You honestly have been lied to long enough, dental team members. Isn't it time to do something about it? All of us here at My Practice, My Business want you to challenge our thought leadership any day of the week. That's how you gain strong backgrounds and discover truths all of you are entitled to gain, is if you put us to the test and put yourself to the test. The business truths that we teach will benefit you and your team for the rest of your dental careers. Stop being lied to. Trace, do you got anything you want to add to that?
Hey, we are here for you. We are available via phone, so if you do have an issue with an insurance company, you're welcome to pick up the phone, give us a call, and we'll do our best to help you out.
Tracy, thanks so much for being with me here today, and it's the Christmas time of the year. Christmas season's upon us, and from all of us at MPMB to all of you, have a wonderful Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you so much for tuning into the My Practice, My Business podcast. You can find additional podcasts you may have missed that will help you with your dental practice at Apple iTunes Podcasts. And remember to become a subscriber to our podcast. Many of you have asked how to help support the My Practice, My Business podcast. If you have enjoyed the program and information you received today, the best way to help is to leave us a 5-star review. Thanks again for allowing us to be a part of your day.